Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, your digital news desk host on this Monday, the 31st, the very last day of March. Tomorrow is a big day around our area as primary election day is happening and looking like we're going to have some great weather for it. So you don't have to worry about dodging any raindrops as you go outside to go to your voting precinct and cast your vote in the primary elections. We're going to be talking more about the elections later on today in today's episode of WLBT Plus. If you're watching on our website or through our mobile app, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are watching through any of our social streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, any of those, thank you for tuning in there as well. Don't forget, you can always join the conversation. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, anything like that, you can always put that in the chat. I enjoy getting to talk with you guys. As a matter of fact, we have Kathy Ford right now tuning in, saying good afternoon. Good afternoon to you as well, Kathy. If you are watching on our social streams, let us know where you're tuning in from. Where are you watching from? Where around the area, or maybe not around the area. Maybe you're really far away. But let me know where you're watching from. We had some pretty intense storms this morning. I know I was woken up from a dead sleep around 5 o'clock this morning from the lightning and thunder that was going on outside. Thankfully, that has all passed. And we are expecting some rain later in the week, but not for the rest of the day or tomorrow. We'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look outside before we jump into the news. We're going to look over downtown Jackson. You're going to see we still have some cloudy skies out there. You can see a little bit of blue trying to peek through those clouds, trying to break up. But all in all, it is looking pretty nice outside, especially considering what we were faced with as we got ready for the morning our morning commute. Let's go ahead and jump into the news now, give you an update on some things that happened over the weekend and this morning. So first, we're going to jump to a homicide that happened on Meadow Lane. So this happened last night in Jackson. One man has been killed. A second man has been taken to a hospital. Jackson police began investigating the homicide and the aggravated assault, which happened in the 100 block of Meadow Lane shortly after 4 p.m. yesterday. So let me take you and show you exactly where Meadow Lane is. This is the Google map, and we're going to zoom in down here in the South Jackson area. So this is Meadow Lane right here. This is in the approximate location of the 100 block of Meadow Lane. And if we zoom out so you can see where this is in connection with downtown Jackson, apologize if I move that screen too fast for you. We have Meadow Lane down here on the bottom left of your screen. Here is the approximate location of downtown Jackson. So this is where the homicide and the aggravated assault happened last night. So detectives say that both victims were shot at that location. One of the victims was a 26-year-old black male who was unfortunately pronounced dead on the scene. Another one is a 24-year-old black male who is being treated at a local hospital. So the identities of the two men have not been released. And of course, if you have any information on this, please contact Jackson Police Department, Crime Stoppers. I say it all the time. If you have a security camera, if you have a Ring doorbell camera, if you heard or saw anything in that area around 4 o'clock yesterday, let the police know about it, let Crime Stoppers know about it, so that maybe we can get some answers on this crime that happened last night. So again, 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon in the 100 block of Meadow Lane, this happened. A man lost his life and another man was shot and has been treated at a local hospital. We don't have an update on the status of the victim that was treated at the hospital or being treated at the hospital. As soon as we get that information, we'll pass it along to you. And in McGee, a man is now behind bars in connection with the shooting that happened down there in McGee. So officials say on March 23rd, McGee police officers were dispatched to the Cefco gas station on Highway 49. This happened around 4 o'clock in the morning, and they were dispatched in response to a shooting that happened in the parking lot. So after several days of investigation, officials obtained substantial evidence leading to the arrest of this individual that you see on your screen now, Desmond Cantrell Williams. So they say with support from Simpson County Sheriff's Office, he was taken into custody on Saturday. He was taken to the McGee Police Department, where he was later charged with aggravated assault and discharging a firearm within city limits. And we move to Brookhaven now, where a man is wanted in connection to felony vandalism. It's a felony vandalism investigation where he vandalized a Tesla. So here's the video of the individual doing that. In case you don't know, Teslas have high definition cameras all the way around them where you can pull that footage and recording anything that is happening around it, which is why we are able to see this video right here. So 63-year-old Osvaldo Torres Rodriguez was caught on the car's camera vandalizing the Tesla with wire cutters on Friday. He's vandalizing the hood, scratching it, the vehicle's driver's side. And now he does have a active felony warrant, and he is also an undocumented immigrant. This is him on your screen. So they are looking for this individual. If you have any information on where he might be, you are asked to please contact the Brookhaven Police Department in response to this. And Jackson Police Department is still investigating after a 14-year-old girl was unfortunately shot on Friday night while visiting someone. Bless her heart. I just couldn't imagine. It feels so horrible for her. Jackson police say that it happened on Daniel Circle, which is off of Adrian Drive. Again, if you're not familiar with that, let me show you where it is on the map here. It's right down here in this area. And I know it may even seem like I'm showing you the same map from a few minutes ago, but I'm not. It's just in a nearby area from the other crime that happened last night. So this is Daniel Circle right here and Adrian Drive. They're saying that it happened around this area. As I zoom out so you can see where this is in relation to downtown Jackson, just to kind of give you an idea of it. We have a Jackson right up here in the yellow block. For downtown Jackson, and down here in the bottom of your screen, bottom left of your screen, is where the shooting happened on Friday night. So our team with a WLBT did see one person being detained on scene. They also showed a car riddled with bullets. So the shooter is accused of firing shots from a car down the street. The victim was rushed to the hospital in a personal vehicle. JBD says that a pregnant woman was also shot, but their condition is unknown at the time. If you have any information on the shooting, please contact Jackson Police Department and Crime Stoppers. And of course, our thoughts and our prayers are with that poor 14-year-old who was shot during this incident. And two brothers who were charged in the downtown Jackson mass shooting that happened just hours after the St. Patty's Day parade. They will be remaining behind bars until their next court appearance, at least. So 21-year-old Marquavius McLeod and his brother, 22-year-old Michael McLeod, are both being charged with first-degree murder. They're also charged with 6 counts of aggravated assault. Their attorneys say that the two acted in self-defense. Michael McLeod was a police officer with UMMC. He's no longer employed by that department. The brothers will remain behind bars until their preliminary hearing, which should happen in the next couple of weeks. And we are uncovering new details about the suspects in this case. First, the brothers do have two very different histories, two very different pasts. One was just starting out as a law enforcement officer. The other was still serving a sentence when the shooting took place. So we have these photos from UMMC here that show 22-year-old Michael McLeod being sworn in as an officer of the hospital's police department by the department's chief. So we're told he had no disciplinary issues at all. He passed all of the background checks. There was no criminal history that we found in our research for him. UMMC tells us that Michael worked for them for almost a year before being fired last week, which is likely in result of the news coming out about his alleged involvement in this shooting. His brother, though, Marquavius, has been in trouble with the law for years. In fact, he was on a post-release supervision for a felony conviction when the shooting happened. So court records that we obtained showed 3 indictments against Marquavius. The first happened in July of 2023 for possession of a stolen vehicle. Months later, after the grand jury indicted him on 1 count of auto theft and 2 counts of attempted auto theft for incidents that happened in Clinton. Well, last year, another grand jury indicted him on 1 count of being in possession of a stolen weapon, but that case has not yet been resolved. Last August, Judge Peterson remanded Marquavius' auto theft charges to the file, and then 3 days later, he pled guilty to that July possession of a stolen vehicle charge. Peterson then sentenced him to 7 years suspended with a 5-year post-release supervision. So Marquavius has more than a dozen felony charges over the years. We found in the Hinds County Circuit Court system, meaning that there's a lot about the 21-year-old that we don't know at this time. We still don't know a lot about his history. So we're going to continue to update you on these developments with the shooting that happened both here on WLBT Plus as well as our website and during our newscast. So you will make sure you keep tuned in. As soon as we get the update into us, we will pass that information along to you. And according to an appearance form that was filed with the Mississippi Supreme Court, Carly Gregg now has a new attorney. You may remember Carly Gregg is the 14-year-old, well, then 14, now 15-year-old, who was found guilty of murdering her mother, Ashley Smiley, attempted murder of her stepfather, Heath Smiley, and she was also found guilty of tampering with evidence. The crime occurred in March of last year. She was went to trial and was sentenced in September of last year. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So the form was filed last week. It now shows Carthage attorney James Murphy as the lead counselor for Carly Gregg, effectively replacing attorney Kevin Camp and attorney Bridget Todd, who now actually resides in the state of Utah. So Murphy will be representing Gregg before the Supreme Court, Mississippi Supreme Court, in her appeal. According to Murphy's law firm, through the website, his areas of practice are workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, admiralty and maritime law, and DUI, DWI, and personal injury. So we have reached out to him for a statement or even possibly an interview. He did get back with me and said that he was in the middle of court and he would touch base with me when he was out of court. So we will get that to you as soon as we hear back from him. But now he will be taking over Carly Gregg's case as she goes before the Mississippi Supreme Court. Hopefully we can get an update on him to find out what is the next step for Carly Gregg in this appeal. Well, we are going to hear a word from our sponsor real quick, and then we're going to take a look at our forecast. So stick with me.
On the drain if I run hot water? No! Time for a neighborly tip from Jackson Water. Is it okay to pour fats, oils, and greases down the drain if I run hot water? No! What if I run the garbage disposal? How about if I use dish soap at the same time? Instead, hang on to a few containers to store and toss old cooking fat and grease once you're done. Jackson Water. Water for all the time.
And again, thank you so much to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. We do appreciate it. Looking here at the comments in response to Carly Gregg having a new attorney now, a toy on YouTube saying that should be very interesting to see what happens. I agree, Toy. And like I said, we are going to continue following that case and the trial, see what happens. Hopefully we hear back from the new attorney, James Murphy, and we will update you guys with any new information that we get in here to WLBT. Well, looking at our forecast real quick, let's look at our current temperatures outside. We are sitting pretty nice in the upper 60s to low 70s around our area, with Monticello being the warmest at 75. If we look at our current radar, you can see we don't have any rain in the area. We do have some cloudy skies out there, but those clouds will be breaking up. No rain in the area right now. If we look over the next 12 hours, you see we don't have a chance of rain. As we get into the 5 o'clock hour, the sun should be peaking out even more. And as we drop into our overnight hours, we're going to get down into the mid 50s. In our 7-day forecast, you can see it says 100% chance of rain for today, but we've already had that chance. We've already had that rain, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Tuesday, we're looking at a nice day. Pretty warm days ahead of us, actually, for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as we reach up into the upper 80s. And you can see again, as we look forward to the next weekend, more rain chances for the weekend. Of course, as we get closer to those days, we'll have more info on it, be able to give you more certain forecast of what we're looking at for the weekend. But to hear it from the meteorologist's mouths himself, you want to be here at 2:30 today. They will be here to give you a detailed look at our forecast and maybe be able to give you some more answers as far as what we're expecting over the weekend. Miss Helen Hampton here on our stream saying hello and good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too, Miss Helen. Thank you so much for watching. Well, there was a Goodwill art show that happened this weekend in the capital city, celebrating artists with disabilities. So their show was on full display at Jackson Prep for Center for Arts and Leadership building. Artists got to show off their work to the community. Even some even walked away with an award. So after the award ceremony, there was time for viewers to still look at the art and even buy some of it. The show's put on with the help of Goodwill Mississippi. The nonprofit says that they enjoy giving back to the local community and seeing these artists shine by doing what they love.
Well, it's good to connect the community. Goodwill Industries is all about workforce development, but it's also about community development. And people need to understand that people with barriers to employment have barriers. Those barriers affect all parts of their life.
So some of the Jackson Prep students helped put on the show by giving out awards and certificates to some of these artists. Congratulations to all of the winners in that. And you may have noticed, or you may have seen some work continuing on a new taxiway at the Jackson Airport. The Jackson Municipal Airport Authority, I'm getting my words out straight. The Jackson Municipal Airport Authority says that paving is expected to be completed within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Crews have only run into some minor weather delays, and the project, they say, is vital for enhancing taxiway safety, facilitating smoother movements, and also accommodating larger aircraft. This will better position the airport to host bigger airlines, which could be good, and transport more goods and passengers. So we'll keep you updated on the work of that. Now, let's talk about the primary elections happening tomorrow. Here on WLBT Plus, we sat down with the majority of the mayoral candidates for Jackson. We sat down with the two for Flowood as well as Brandon, interviewed all of them. And you can find all of those interviews on our website, WLBT.com. But tomorrow, many of you across the state are going to be able to cast your ballots in some of these very high profile races, voting for mayors, aldermen, and city council chairs. So if we look at who all is running, we're going to see we got 12 Democrats are on the ticket for Jackson. And those Democrats are Delano Funches, James Hopkins, Lakeisha Cry, Albert Wilson, John Horn, Marcus Wallace, Courtney Christopher Page, Tim Henderson, Socrates Garrett, David Archie, James Blue Butler, and of course the current mayor Chokwe Lumumba. Then we have Republicans. We have three on the ballot for Jackson: Wilford Beal, Kenny G, and Ponto Ronnie Downing. And then we also have 4 independents who will not be on the ballot tomorrow, but you will see them in the general election. Those independents are Zach Service, Rodney DePriest, Lily Stewart Robinson, and Kim Wade. So we also were able to catch up with city officials in several municipalities in the metro area to see how they're gearing up at the polls. In Jackson, election commissioner prepared weeks ahead with several supplies, equipment, and all of the ballots that they would need. In case any of the precincts start to run low, they do have extra ballots on hand. In Canton, City Clerk Dr. Chona Anderson said that poll workers underwent extensive training from the Secretary of State's office and that they are prepared to handle any situation that may arise tomorrow. Mississippi Secretary of State Michael Watson wants to remind you all that local elections are important for you, and your vote does hold power.
And what we have done here, our Elections 101 campaign and other efforts, is try to educate Mississippians on why each election is so important. And again, these are the ones that are going to impact your life every single day. We see these folks at the grocery store, at church, you name it, in the community, at the ballparks. And that's why this is so important, because this is your opportunity to hold them accountable. If your mayor is doing a great job, if your alderman or councilman are doing a great job, reward them with another term. If they aren't, send them home.
So if you're looking for more information about the candidates, you can go to our website, like I said earlier, and rewatch the interviews that we did with them at WLBT.com. And actually, let me show you where you can look at for the Jackson mayoral races. So here is our website here at the very top of the page. You can see where it says Jackson mayoral race. If you click on that, it's going to take you to all of the Jackson interviews that we did for the Jackson candidates. You can watch all of them there in full. They are not edited. Nothing is cut out. It is the full interviews. If you want to watch the one where we interviewed the Flowood mayors, Kathy Smith, the Flowood mayoral candidates, Kathy Smith and Gregg Wilcox. If you come here and click on elections, you will be able to see those there as well. So we have Kathy Smith, Gregg Wilcox, who's running on the Republican ticket for Flowood. Those are the only two on the ticket for mayor of Flowood. There are no Democratic candidates there. And then we also have for Brandon, where we interviewed candidate Fred Shanks, as well as incumbent Butch Lee, who is running again for Brandon. He's seeking his 4th term. But those are going to be under the elections tabs. You'll be able to watch those entire interviews there as well. So that is going to be it for WLBT Plus today. Tomorrow, big day, primary election day. Make sure you get out and vote and let your voice be heard. Lots of things to vote for, as we just said: mayor, alderman, city councils, a lot of things. And we are going to be covering all of the election excitement tomorrow here at WLBT. Some of us will be on hand at the different areas where the candidates are meeting to maybe have watch parties, so to speak. But we will be there with all of them. So you want to make sure you are tuned in to all of our newscasts, and we'll be able to keep you updated on all of those votes as they come in, as information comes in to us. Remember that the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow. So you have all day long to get out there and vote. And I hope that you do. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. First Alert Weather Team will be here at 2:30 today to give you a look at your forecast. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your Monday. See y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.